Hey guys, Benji here. Today we are with Sherri Beier, investor, interior designer, and partner on this complete renovation and transformation of a house, 2200 Drew Avenue in Minneapolis. We're going to be asking her a few questions today about the property and the project. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm well.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to do this video with me. I think this is going to be a really good opportunity to tell everyone about this whole project.
I agree. I'm
Awesome.
excited.
What initially drew you to this property as a listing agent, investor, and interior designer?
I think if you're familiar with the neighborhood, you'll know that it's kind of a coveted neighborhood. People don't move in and out very quickly here. People hang on to their properties, so it's hard to get. And then when you see the property and you see the bones and the roof line, oversized 10,000 square foot corner lot looking at the lake, and I just saw that the integrity of the mid-century modern house was intact and it had so much potential that I just knew that we had to buy it.
Yeah, so you saw the opportunity in the neighborhood. Nobody really moves out of here. The corner lot is huge too, right? Cool.
But and then when you see the roof line and kind of the original structure that's still intact, but still has a lot of potential, that was kind of what.
So you kept a lot of the shape in the house?
We did.
From the exterior, like how it looked in general, and you did mainly an inside-out gut?
We gutted it down to the studs, and then also added 1,000 square feet. So all of the beams in here are all original. There was the original woodwork here. There was a lot of things that were original that we wanted to work with and keep for the integrity of the house, but also update. So I think that if you get an outside shot, you'll see the roof line is primarily the same as it was before, and we tried to make it look seamless and continue so that it doesn't look like an addition. It looks like it was meant to be that way.
Can you share some insights into the history of the property and the previous owners? If you don't want to, that's okay too.
Oh no, I don't mind at all. I mean, obviously I do know their names. I won't share them. It was a couple that I don't know if they raised their children here, so I haven't talked to them. I just kind of got this information from the previous agent, but they were kind of above their time, or beyond their time with some of their technology, and they had a video screen, like a projection screen downstairs, and like raised stadium seating for movies and things. And they really, they had a good style about them. It was just outdated. And so they lived here into their 80s.
And it was made in the 50s, right?
It was 53. Okay.
So did it have a old-timey style as far as the 50s, or would you say it was like a 70s?
It was renovated.
House?
It still had the wood on the walls, and like I said, some of them that we kept, and we just stained it ebony. It still had the beams, but the beams had like a red cedar tone to it. So again, I stained those ebony to kind of modernize it. But it still had all of the same, slanted roof lines and all of the different angles. It also had the windows that are on the front of the house. Those, although we swept them all out and essentially have more glazing than they used to, the shapes of them were all original. So those aren't original to us. Those are, we didn't do that. Those were here.
Well done. Yeah,
Thanks.
It looks awesome. What were some key challenges you faced during the renovation process, and how did you overcome them?
I think the biggest thing was to not, I would say, ruin the house in a way that, keeping it, like I said, true to its era, true to its original design, but making it new and fresh. And what some people, a lot of people are tearing down houses and building new homes. So we wanted to give you all of those modern amenities and modern things without taking away from the charm of the house. So I guess going back to your question of what was maybe challenging, I think the challenge is marrying those two things together and making sure it resonates in the end, I guess.
Yeah, so you keep some of that previous style, but you really just bring it back to life, right?
Right, really. You can't even do this anymore without spending millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So I think, even with there was wood on the ceiling, so we covered them with drywall, and also to get more light in here, but a lot of these things, by staining them black, it just kind of modernized them.
For sure. Brought a lot of contrast into the space, doing the light and the dark.
And the light floors were kind of a thing too. I know that. Yeah,
gray was really popular, but I really like this. It's a light tan, but you have those bluish gray undertones in there. Mm-hmm. So how would you describe the overall aesthetic and style that you aim to achieve with the renovation? I know that it was mid-century modern.
Yes, I wanted to be very careful though. I know that there's some mid-century modern enthusiasts that are would maybe like to see something a little bit more traditional in that sense. But I mean, I think we kept things like, for instance, the fireplace was, you know, most people are doing long, linear, you know, rectangular fireplaces.
Yeah, super popular right now.
Super popular. That's what you see in all of the new modern houses. But we stuck with a square size, but did it in the modern black and kept it really simple and clean line. But it was all, that was a very deliberate choice to make it feel, again, that's what you would have seen in 1953.
Yeah.
You know, that shape versus the more modern and linear shape. So it was like choosing some of those things that, with the built-in banquette too, like that was big, and we modernized them maybe in the materiality, but the concept of them was kept with the mid-century modern.
I love that, and you kept the stairs too. So
oh goodness,
that's a
how
good
did I
staple,
forget about
right?
that? Oh my gosh, that's the best part. Those are original. So the wood, the railing, and the actual mono steel structure is all original. So not only is that really hard to replicate, they don't weld them together like that anymore, and also it's expensive.
What inspired the decision to add an additional 1,000 square feet to the property? I know you put that over the garage, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the properties in this area are sitting around the 4,000 square foot mark, so it was a little bit smaller than some of them. We also didn't really have enough room to create a primary that was, you know, an owner's suite that was kind of spectacular. And who doesn't want a massive walk-in closet, a huge bathroom? I think we also wanted to give some indoor-outdoor space with the primary suite, and we didn't have that. We just didn't have that space without taking away a bunch of bedrooms. So I think we wanted to keep our price per square foot in line with what was in the neighborhood, and we just had to add some square footage to make that happen. Also, we did add the dining room, which used to be a 3-season porch, and that was huge just to kind of transition it to the outside, but also just a little bit more on this. I mean, we doubled the size of the kitchen almost, so we kind of took the dining area away, so we kind of had to add that too. And they had space over the garage, which
I was going to say, it's kind of the perfect scenario, right? You want to compete with the other properties in the area and add that square footage, and where can you get that from? But it's kind of right there.
Well, when you're in Minneapolis too, you have lot lines and
usually
setbacks
small
to deal with, and so you can build only up so much, out so much. So it kind of take a little bit of maneuvering, and we could only go so far in the back. And using the garage seemed like a good way to get that.
I think so too. And then talking about the lot lines in Minneapolis, usually people have small lots. It's the house, and then you have itty bitty yards. But is that really where this corner lot has a lot of value, because you have a little bit more of a yard, backyard
it's almost
space?
Double, I would say, just about double. I mean, it's 10,000 square feet, and a lot of them are 5, 6, maybe 7 at the most. And so this is set back on the corner, and so you have, I shouldn't say you have privacy, because you also are in a fishbowl with all of these windows, but it kind of sets you back from the road, so you have a little bit of privacy, or a little, and then you're also on a corner lot, and really all your windows face out, and you're not really facing a neighbor. So
yeah, I like it. It's kind of a flex to have such a big front yard, and then you have a nice entertainment space in the back too.
Right.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, it's not huge, but it's definitely super usable and kind of integrated with the inside space. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and then you have the patio on the master suite. It just is like the cherry on top of all of these amenities that you put here.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool.
It is cool. And I would like to point out too that the key there was having access to that for everyone, including your guests, and not just by going through the owner's suite. So we have a door that goes out there, so you could just have friends over for a glass of wine to watch the sunset and look at the lake, or you could have your coffee out there in the morning.
Can you walk us through some of the standout features that might potentially really intrigue some buyers?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, and you won't miss it, we're in the in the evening, twilight hours now, but the windows and the views of the lake. Also, we have a 10-foot sliding door, which people don't really see in the picture. Like, the scale of it isn't as noticeable as...
That's 10 feet?
Yes, that is 10 feet.
It looks taller.
But in the picture, it doesn't read. So when people get here, it's very impressive. So you literally can be standing in the backyard and look all the way clear through these windows to the lake. So also when you're standing here, you can look that way, and out through the patio. So you have just such a like centralized view.
How about the tiling on the backsplash? Usually you see that wide, you know, with subway tiling, but this is linear. It gives a sleek, slender feel.
This was definitely selected because it's a mid-century vibe. This is like the ribbon tile is a very mid-century vibe, so that was selected. And actually there was, in the bathroom, they had a similar ribbon tile in their primary bath that they had redone that was very mid-century. And so I kind of thought, do something similar and bring that over here.
Can you describe the neighborhood and community surrounding the property and what it offers residents that might move here?
Yeah, I mean,
Bryn Mawr,
obviously we just keep saying, it's Cedar Lake, Bryn Mawr. Obviously we keep referencing the lake, so you can bring your paddleboard, you can drop in everything, you can go fishing. But it also is super easy access to downtown. It's like 4 or 5 minutes just to hop on 394 and get down to the North Loop. So I think that's really nice, pretty centrally located.
How do you see this property fitting into larger real estate market trends in Minneapolis?
I don't like to follow other people's trends. So I'm hoping that other people are inspired to do something that doesn't look like everyone else's, to be honest with you. So I don't know if it's fitting in, but I think when we spoke another time, I said, I'm going to do me and what I think is cool and not what I think necessarily people want, because people don't always know what they want, but they'll recognize a good design. So for me, I hope that it encourages other people to also be unique in their designs, because I think people are afraid sometimes. Somebody might not make the selections that I made here, but I hope they feel like they're cohesive and a good, you know, tells a good story and is unique. So I think that's the biggest thing that I would hope that people take away from it.
Is there anything that you still haven't done yet? Is there any city assessments that someone should look forward to?
I mean, we've really touched every surface in this house.
So it's ready to go.
It is
Turnkey.
move-in ready.
And finally, but not least, what aspect of this whole project are you most proud of and why?
That's a good question. I do feel like, again, I'm on repeat a little bit. I think I'm most proud that it is very unique, and people that come in here say that they haven't seen it before. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can receive as a designer, that it's unique and special to my aesthetic. So I think I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of the fact that it's very easy to tear down a house and build a new one.
Yeah.
It is not easy to renovate a house and make it brand new and tie in the old with the new and make it feel, you know, new and on purpose. So I think it was a challenge, but I think I'm pretty proud of the way it turned out.
This big combination of all these facets coming together, it really does make the home a piece of art.
Yeah.
So good job.
Thanks.
Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's all I got for you. So thank you for taking the time to answer my questions, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you.